test. So it's Chinese standard. Also, they usually have ASTM, AISO, and other list of standards. So we will choose the metal tensile test round specimen. So here usually the specimen diameter, the gauge length, and the parallel length are inputted, as this test has been performed before. So you just push run, and the data is sampling. So here, like in real time, in the bottom of the window, you can see the load in real time and the position changing. So the extension is also displayed. So here you will see the maximum load of the whole test. So it's a sampling process. When the sampling process will be end, here you will see the test end. So let's wait for some time when the test will be completed, and all the results which should be calculated, like elasticity modulus and yield force and upper and lower yield force and other parameters and tensile strength, they will be calculated automatically after finishing the sampling data. So this is a classical diagram of tensile of metal specimens, like in our books.
And also the testing graph depends on different kinds of tests.
Yeah.
Because this kind of simulation based on the history data. So if you have a lot of history data for different kind of materials, you can select the demo file.
Yeah.
Yeah, demo database to show customer different tests. This is yes.
Oh, no, you can finish yours first.
Yes.
Okay. No, but you have all this data file that can supply to us for us to show the customer.
Yes, we can.
You already have this ready, for example, for plastic.
Just only for metal. Maybe in the future we can make other tests in the database for demonstration.
But this database come together with the demo already, or we just have to open up the database?
Is it already
in the demo?
Yeah.
Yeah, this test was performed before, and the graph was recorded, and now you just demonstrate to the customer how it works.
What I mean is because they already built in the demo function, so whether this graph is actually built inside without have to read another file again.
They have demo files, the set of demo files here for different test methods.
它这个是有个实时的模拟。你要是如果是只有那个文件，你只能说是让它打出来，让它看一下这个图形。它这个是实时的做实验。
对对，我的意思就是说，可能万策这边已经有各个，比如说塑料什么，
其他材料还不太全。
然后有的话放进去，其实就蛮。
因为什么？金属的这个是非常典型的一个。
对，
就是这个。 展示出来以后，客户一般都。
其实金属的反而是最多资料要看的，这塑料的其实很简单，就是一个最大值。
So you see that the test has been ended and all the parameters are calculated automatically. You can see the very long list of parameters. If you need, you can show them, you can display them on the graph. For example, right mouse button click, and then you can select the typical markers. For example, maximum force, you will see the maximum force, and also if you need any other markers like upper yield and lower yield point, so you can show them on the graph. And this graph with all the points, all the markers you displayed will be printed in the test report. Here you can see we obtained the graph. So here you can see all the specimen parameters, I mean initial parameters, and here you can see the information about test method, test date and time, and the name of the operator, etc. And also you can see the graph and the results as tables. You can
this report is a default format.
Yeah, it's a default report. You can change it to your standard, to your requirements as you need. I will show you it later.
Okay.
Also, you can report, export it into Microsoft Office RTF or Excel. Sometimes the customer requires such function as export data to Excel application. So this is for demonstration of the test. So from here you can move up and move down the crosshead. So you can see what do you prefer. You can choose what do you prefer, position control or force control. So you can control the machine from this window. You can use the handset which is on the machine frame. You can use the software to control the machine. So what else?
Data point?
Yeah. So you can open the data. Here is the main menu. Here is the list of functions. You can see data. You can manage data. For example, all the data, all the tests you have performed. So they are in this list. You can see. The file name is usually equal to test date, but you can change the name if you need. You just choose it and rename if you need. And also it's displayed the file name, the test date, and the method name. So it's how you can manage the data. So you also in this data you can report. You can edit the report draft. So you can make, for example, here there will be a graph, and here will be some text. For example, like you can put any text here, like the name of the company or the name of the operator or any you want. So also you can put the image. It's once on default, but you can choose the logo of your company or the logo of your customer. So you can edit the report any way you can imagine. So you can make several reports for each kind of test. So you will just save them under special name, under their unique name. So what else on the data? So here, after finishing editing, you can see the report preview, how it will look like, and also you can print the report. Also, there is the fast access tool to preview and to print report on the main panel you see. So, what's about the test? First of all, you can choose the standard, test standard. Like here, some list of standards. You can correct any parameters. So you can add a new parameter, or you can delay any parameter you don't need. So here is the mathematical formulas of calculating the parameters you could choose. So user parameters is the parameters of force, of specimen, and result parameters are usually the parameters that are required by the standards.
Calculated.
Calculated parameter. They are calculated automatically. So you can export the standard or import it or add your own. If it's very useful if you have your own national standards which are not similar to European or American standards. Sometimes you have very special standard. Your customer may have very special standard. It's very useful for companies who produce some weapon and other. They have closed. I mean, the standards which are not for public using. So your customer can add his own parameter. So he can manage.
For the method,
Yeah.
can we actually create a new method based on the existing?
Yeah,
So maybe I just change speed.
it's the same. It's the next step. After adding a new standard, you can create your own method. For example, you test round specimens, but they are of different gauge lengths or they are of different diameters. So if you don't want to input all these parameters every time when you change the specimen type, you can create a new method. So you have chose metal tensile test round specimen, so you can create a new method. So you can see that this is the common parameters of test methods, like test direction. You can choose compression or flexure and extension reducer. All the common parameters you can choose here. So the process, it's like a flow chart diagram. You can add test steps, like step by step. So here you can see only two steps, two stages of testing. You can add a new one. So if you want to start control, for example, from load, hold, and you just input for how much time the load should be hold, and for example
Shift. Switch. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, like for example 3 seconds, or you can just use a formula editor. So yeah, 30. It will be 30. Okay, so you see that the third step of the test has been added. So so this is the way how you can add the steps of testing. So the parameters. On the graph you see a lot of parameters that have been displayed and calculated automatically. If you don't need such long list of parameters, for example, you need only upper and lower yield point and maximum force, you can results. You can just choose them, and you can click, and they will not be displayed and calculated in the test results. So if you need, you can add the parameter of the specimen. So now for round metallic specimens we have only 3 parameters, like diameter, gauge length and parallel length. If you have any special parameter of your specimen, you can choose from here from the list, or you can add your own parameter, like this one. Oh, sorry.
No, the parameter is in standard.
In standard. So
Here is only select.
Yeah.
Select.
But I guess the result. So
Here's a new function.
I'm not familiar.
The PID, is for the new controller.
Uh-huh.
A new controller, we can adjust the PID parameter for different material test. We have this kind of setup in our menu. We will teach how to adjust the PID parameter.
Mm-hmm.
That will be better control for different materials. Before, the old controller is not open.
Mm-hmm.
This function, new controller will be open to customer, so they can adjust to perform very accurate control.
But it's dangerous, It's dangerous because if some operator starts to play, maybe he can make a wrong result and they claim for service. I think you have to put on the password as well.
It's this function is also.
We can how to say,
You can protect if the customer want to change. He just type the password.
Okay, we will.
Because anybody can go and touch.
Okay, understand.
So what else in the test? Also, you can choose the units. So here is the list of units that are usually used in different test methods like Newton and kilonewton and kilogram force and other and pounds and other. Also, you can add your own unit of force, of strength, of length, etc. So you can just add the, how to say, what does this unit requires to, and the name of the unit and coefficient and the basic unit, and you can add the calculation formula of this unit. What else? And rounding. It's the rounding of. You can choose a standard rounding method. I mean, how to calculate very long. Could you help me explain the rounding method?
Rounding method is a little difficult. How to say? For example, the test result is 105 kilonewton, but the rounding method they require it, the last one, the last number should be rounded to 3 or 7 or 5 or 10. If the test result is 102 kilonewton, if the testing standard required should be around 5. Okay, so this number will be rounded to 100 or 100 kilonewton. It's in the testing standard. There is a rounding method. Usually, the customer they don't care about this rounding method.
But some customers.
Some customers they require.
Who do some scientific research
Yes.
tests, so they usually use this rounding method. Sometimes they need more accurate or more, how to say, more rough data, getting data. So
Yes.
So what else? System. Here you can adjust the system for your needs. So first one, user accounts. Usually they have admin and operator. So you can choose here. So it's only tester account, but usually they have operator account also. Here you can set the password for different functions. So if for tester, for example, tester has access to any functions because you can see the marks of near the functions. But if you add a new user like operator, so how to say? For example, operator 1. You can choose what function he will get access to. For example, you don't want to allow him to get access to calibration and linearity, etc. So you just remove the signs near from these parameters. So layout, it means the view of the working table. So here you can see the main layout and multiple window layout. So you can show several graphs if you need. You can also add the list of parameters. You can list. You can add the table of specimens which were already tested, etc. So if you test one by one specimen, you will get a lot of columns here, adding one by one. So you can display them in another window. So you also get acquainted with verification and linearity and calibration functions. So for both three these operations, you use the reference log cells and you use extensometer calibration unit, etc. For the calibration, you just choose the test direction, the nominal value, the reference value. So, and you press the calibrate button. So, and the calibration process is started. So, can I show?
No.
Okay.
No.
So, because here's the calibration coefficients. So, in order not to.
This is a 1-point calibration. 1 point.
No. You can
It's
add any values you need. You can add here 10 points, and it will be calibrated by 10 points.
10 points.
If you input here 20 points, it will be calibrated by 20
points.
For calibration, usually if the load cell linearity is good, you just check 1 point. If the linearity is no good, you have to adjust the linearity. Yeah. And because this software is used in some old controllers, some function, or you can show another function in the system setup. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And the direction adjustment for the new controller, no. For the new controller, no. Only for the old controller. Yeah.
So let's skip this function.
Yes. And also the keyboard.
Yeah.
So for the new controller, the keyboard speed, the first one.
Yeah.
Keyboard is for the handheld small keyboard. Keyboard. You can adjust some translation. Quickly speed, not quick. The jog speed.
Mm-hmm.
Jog speed.
Okay.
Faster up, faster down.
So this is also a new function I'm not familiar with. So as to calibration, the same is for linearity and for verification. So here you can adjust the linearity of the load cell by several points. And sorry. And also verification. So you also input the number of verification points, the nominal value of the reference load cell, and start the verification. The same you can do for extensometer if you use the extensometer. Language, you can switch the software to any language without needing to relaunch it. So we can switch to Russian because I made the translation into Russian. Also, you can switch to Chinese anytime. So, and every menu, every function will be translated immediately. So you can also.
But you can do with a custom.
Huh?
But you can do with custom.
If you choose customize, you can add a new language. So you can just add. And no, it's not for if you have some words that were missed the translation, you can add a new word and translate it, or you can even create a new language. So if you do to translate the software into your native language by yourself or with the help of any professional interpreters, you just input, for example, Korean or Spain or Italian language and do the translation. It looks like, I can show you Russian translation. So it looks like a table. I mean, on the left is English or Chinese name, on the right column is the translation into Vietnamese or Korean or any language. And you can add a new word. Here's the original word, here's the translation. So, and save it. So, a new word will appear. So also you can correct any translation you already made, so or delete the whole language if you don't need, if your customer don't need Chinese or French language, he can delete it.
How many words? How many phrases?
Oh, so here you can list it's about maybe
1,000?
No. I've done all the translation for about maybe, it took me about 4 or 5 days to translate the whole software. Yeah, because they use a lot of standard words, I mean the standard terms. So load is usually load in any window, it's load here and load here. So you once translate the word load, it will be displayed in your language in any window, in any place of the software. So it took about 3 or 4 working days to translate. Yeah. So you also have the list of English expressions, so it's not very big. It's maybe about 300 or 400 words and expressions. So what else? So switch user is when you can switch between the admin and tester and operator 1 and operator 2, etc. So this is, I guess, very brief tour on the software. So if you have any question, you can ask.
Just now I asked about the data point.